Hello everyone. This video is still part of the domestic violence series, and it's about documenting. And by documenting, I mean everything. Documenting the warning signs of abuse in every form that it occurs will help provide proof of your partner's behavior if you ever need it for legal reasons or otherwise. For some survivors, it can simply be useful to validate your experience and process complex emotions. Ways to document abuse include keeping a journal of what you experience, including descriptions of how the incident made you feel, writing down statements you, your partner, or any witnesses make before, during, or after the abuse, recording dates, times, and descriptions of incidents. If furniture is overturned or items were thrown, describe the scene and take photos of the damage. Documenting any injuries, no matter how small, and it's usually best to document with pictures if you can. If not, then just write it down. But a lot of places, if you go to file a report, will want photos of the abuse. Seeking medical care, even if there are no visible injuries, especially if you have been strangled or choked. Anytime you go to the doctor for something related to domestic violence, you can request a copy of your records. And then if you have to submit your records to law enforcement, a DA, or whatever, have them make a copy so that you can keep the original that was given to you by the hospital or urgent care center or doctor's office or wherever you went. And filing a report with the police if you determine that it is safe for you to do so. Documenting digital abuse. Documentation can be an important way of substantiating claims that your partner is abusive. Threats and other controlling behaviors often occur online or over the phone, and your partner may even admit to abusing you in a message or post intentionally or unintentionally. If you intend to eventually seek legal recourse, evidence of the abuse will be important to building your case. Evidence of digital abuse is often fleeting and may be easily deleted, whether by accident or intentionally. Take steps to secure documentation of any digital abuse you're experiencing by printing out emails or call logs that contain evidence or information about the incident. Make sure the printout includes the sender, recipient, date, and time. Printing out text messages or taking pictures of a phone display containing the message, contact information, date, and time. Printing screenshots of social media posts that contain evidence of abuse. This may appear in the form of admissions of abuse, threats of violence, or even photos that you didn't consent to. Check your profile as well as your partner's for the evidence. Recording voicemails of abuse, including the time and date of the message. If you don't have a cell phone, camera, computer, or other technology to help you document abuse, consider visiting a public library to access computers and printers, possibly even rental photography places. They can let you use a camera or something like that to compile evidence of the abuse. Friends, loved ones, or community organizations may also be able to lend you some technology or help you document the abuse. Make sure all your documentation is stored in a place that your abuser is unable or unlikely to look. Be creative in how and where you store evidence. Examples of ways to safely and creatively store digital evidence includes creating a separate email address for the sole purpose of documenting abuse. Store everything you write as saved messages and compile photos in one place. Just be sure not to use the account for other purposes. Memorizing passwords you create and avoiding mentioning plans to people electronically. Your partner might be monitoring your movements through your text or social media. Having a backup drive to upload any important documents or information. Using a password protected online journal, taking care to keep your password private. Hiding printed evidence in a place your abuser won't look, like a separate room or hidden in the basement. Documenting sexual assault. This kind of documentation is a deeply challenging step in the aftermath of abuse. Your safety should always be first priority, but your long-term well-being depends on seeking support from someone you trust, as well as medical attention. If you intend to pursue criminal legal charges against your attacker, you'll also need to take steps immediately after the incident to document the abuse before cleaning yourself or changing clothes. If you're sexually assaulted, try to get to a safe place away from your attacker where you can think through your next steps. You may be scared, angry, confused, and hurt. Remember that the abuse was not your fault. And I actually had one lady reach out to me about a month or so ago. She had been assaulted. And she didn't want to go to the ER. I think she said the abuser's aunt or sister or something worked there. And so I spent a good hour or so trying to help her find like an urgent care or something in her area or the next town over where she could go to have all the tests done. And where, you know, it says that you might be scared or angry or confused. The only feeling that she had at the time that she was talking to me was hunger. Like, she was really hungry, and she didn't know why she was feeling hunger. She went bouncing around from wanting KFC to pizzas to burgers to maybe throwing something on the grill. And like the whole time I was talking to her, her basic only feeling was hunger. And sometimes that's really normal because you don't want to feel everything. So you take something that is just a basic everyday feeling and you feel that. It's part of being numb, but not completely. So if you have a random feeling, you know, like hunger, that's perfectly normal. It's not unfitting for the situation. So she felt really bad and really guilty almost that all she could feel was hunger. And she didn't even really want to eat. But it was just the feeling that she could associate with and that she could understand. And being hungry actually helped her focus on how to get the care that she needed, because we ended up finding a little tiny like urgent care thing that's kind of like in the back of a pharmacy or something. Apparently it wasn't very known around that area, and that's where she ended up going because she remembered KFC was across the street from that location. So her feeling hunger after her attack actually led her to where she needed to go for help. So sometimes you need to pick up on the little tiny clues that, that gut feeling, or, whatever you want to call it. Because sometimes those strange random feelings can actually lead you to where you need to go for safety or for help. Anyway, moving on. Some steps to consider next. Contact someone you trust. Having someone there to support you after experiencing sexual assault can help you express and process complex feelings in a way that doesn't threaten your safety, and can give you room to focus on your healing while they help with everything else. It's often useful to speak with a counselor, sexual assault hotline, or support group if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to a friend or family member. You can always, I cannot say this enough, you can always email me. I will do my best to lead you to a place that will help. Go to an emergency room or health clinic. It's extremely important for you to seek health care as soon as you can after being assaulted. You can expect to be treated for any injuries, offered medication to help prevent pregnancy or an STI, and have tests run to ensure your long-term well-being. There may also be sexual assault advocates in the area that can assist you to answer any questions. The Sexual Assault Nurse Examiner, SANE, can provide these services and collect evidence in case you decide to pursue legal action in the future. Report what happened. If you determine that it is safe for you to do so, you may report what happened to law enforcement to pursue criminal legal recourse against your attacker. If you decide to do so, it is important that you do your best to avoid altering or distorting any evidence or of the attack to prepare a stronger legal case. That means don't shower, wash your hair or body, comb your hair, or change your clothes, even if it is hard not to. If you're nervous about going to the police station, it may help to bring a trusted friend with you, keeping in mind any relevant safety considerations for them as well. And a lot of times you can actually just call the police station and ask them to send an officer to you, and you can usually request a certain gender of officer that you are comfortable with. Remember that you always have options. Speaking with any advocate can be a good place to start. Have a good night, everybody.